go to number 6, and we want to now post this to accounts payable. 198074. The invoice number, you put in the vendor's invoice number. You can also type in new and it will assign one. I'm just going to type in new just because we're doing a demo here. And the invoice date. Now this is important. Regardless of what date you received it, if a customer is offering you a discount based on payment terms, you need to put the invoice the same date as they have on the packing slip. And bear this in mind that with freight on board, you take ownership of it even if it took 5 days to get to you. So they invoice it to you right when it left their dock. The due date is what's important, and here is where you're saying, now we have this defaulting to 30 days. Okay, so the due date is what's important. If you want to make sure to take that discount accordingly, you want to make sure that the due date is correct. Now you can also key in plus 20 and it will calculate 20 days from today's date and stamp it accordingly. Okay, now I'm going to put in an erroneous invoice amount saying that they overbilled you. Any freight. Okay, and what's happening, and this is the important process. You know, you can order something and what they quoted you on the phone versus what you get in the mail can be two entirely different things. So what we're doing is saying, okay, here's what your invoice says that you got in the mail, but my purchase order really only authorized $590 based on what we received, based on the contracted price. So you got one or two options. You either adjust this down and say, you know what, this is what I was quoted, this is all I'm paying, and that's the $590. Or you adjust one of the unit prices down here saying, okay, I'm accepting you increasing the price. And that way it also reflects in the cost of your inventory. Well, in this case, we want to change the price of the order. So I'm going to go to number 12 and say 590.90. Whoops. Okay, and so at this point we've got an invoice in the mail, you've got your packing slip and the receiver from the digital system. So when we go like, yes, it's okay, now when I go look at this for carrier 15, you'll see that on the date of 10/24, this now has an H status, and it's no longer maintainable. So if I go to number 4, and this shows the receiver in history, and I can also do the letter I, and only people that are authorized to do this can do this, and it will jump to accounts payable and show me this invoice that is posted in accounts payable. So here's our $590. Here's the general ledger that we're hitting, and this is the cross link right here, vendor number 1000. Even though it is going here, it says the PO number was this, and it's a cross link between the PO system and the accounts payable system. So one more thing I'm going to do, I'm going to hit return, and I'm also going to go to number 15, which is the vendor ledger card, and 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to just make it so that it's current this year. I'm going to go 09012017. This way I'm only going to see a balance forward, not all the history, because this vendor ledger card is huge. And then I'm going to hit return the rest of the way down. Okay, let me pause. Okay, I came up with an empty ledger card because remember what I told you about a post to account? I was keying in vendor number 1000, but once it hits payables, it's really going to hit vendor 1362. So that being said, I'm going to do 1362, 09012017, and to today's date, and now I'll get a vendor ledger card with that invoice on it. There we go. So we got a balance forward of 88,000 bucks. We've got this invoice dated 10/24 with a due date of 11/13, and the cash requirements report will scan the accounts payable and look for invoices by due date. So it's important when you run cash requirements to make your due date 5 days before it's really due, so it gives you time to print the checks, get it out in the mail, and get it off to the vendor without being late. Okay, that's pretty much the summary. And as I look at inventory there, 14-00209-00, nothing's changed. The change is when you receive the product. When you post it to payables, all it really does is post it to payables, and it is now hits general ledger. So that's it. I hope that was pretty clear for you. Thanks for watching.